Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. Welcome to the Forest of Arden and welcome to the last part in this video series looking at the backswing. We have covered what the body does. We have covered what the arms do. We've looked at what the golf club does. Today we're going to group all of those things into one video looking at how you need to practice. I've got some training aids that I tend to use. We're going to have a look at some practice stations that you can set up, which is going to help you improve your backswing and hopefully play some better golf in 2018. So now we're going to look at some drills and some exercises that you can do which are going to help you improve on the elements that we've talked about in this video series. So we're going to start off in the order that we've done these videos. The first one we looked at was how we use the body. You'll notice that I've got a few alignment sticks set out in some different positions here. So if I take my address to this golf ball, you will notice that the two alignment sticks in the ground are just outside of my hips, and I have another alignment stick which is just inside my trail foot. From setup, take the golf club that you're using and just place it across your shoulders like so. And what I'm really trying to do here is I'm trying to feel like the grip of my golf club falls above the alignment stick from my viewpoint. And as I do that, I'm trying to ensure that I don't make contact with either of the alignment sticks to the side of my hips. So what this is going to do is going to do a couple of things. It's going to ensure that I've got a good rotation. So from my viewpoint, that grip looks above the yellow alignment stick. But as I'm making that good rotation, it's ensuring that I'm not making a lateral movement away from the target, or vice versa, it's making sure that I'm not making a movement towards the target. If I do move my hips either towards the target or away from the target, it's going to actually become very difficult for me to get the alignment stick and the grip of my golf club aligned correctly. So by doing this, I'm really ensuring two things. I'm ensuring that I've got a good amount of rotation in my body, but I'm also making sure that I'm making a very, very centered turn. And those are really two of the key elements that we spoke about back in video 1 when we were talking about the role that the body plays in the backswing. The other thing we can do here is if you've got a reflection or a mirror and you had that behind you, so where you're viewing this through the camera, as we do in this drill, we can ensure that we're rotating on a good angle. We can ensure that we're not standing up out of our posture and getting our shoulders too level. So this little exercise, whilst it looks fairly simple and it is very simple to set up, it's a great way to start to feel how we need to move our body through the golf swing. Once I've done a couple of those, I can leave everything where it is, but maybe drop the club in behind the ball and do the same thing with a golf club. Again, I'm really starting to, build a good station here, which is going to give me some good feedback during practice. In an ideal world, I would be videoing this, or I would have a mirror or a reflection opposite me. So as I feel what it's like, I can see what that looks like, and I can make sure that the two work together. So, very, very simple. Couple of alignment sticks, a golf club, and you can work on your rotation in terms of making sure you're rotating on an angle, you're making a centered turn, and you're making a good rotation. Now, in the second video, we talked all about the arms and the role that they play in the backswing. We've got two things here that you can do to help you move your arms in a slightly better way. We're going to come to this thing around my neck in a moment. If you watched video number 2, you will see that we talked about how there are some things present in what the arms do. We said there was some wrist hinge or some wrist set, and there was some arm rotation to the right. Now, we started off by saying that some golfers may find it difficult to actually create the right wrist set, and we related that very much to the grip, and we said how if your grip was incorrect, that it may be more difficult to set the wrist correctly. You will notice that on my glove hand I have placed a line that goes from the base of the index finger to just below the base of the little finger. This is really to ensure that I place the golf club into my hand correctly. If I place it through the base of the fingers and I feel like I'm holding the golf club very much in the fingers, that's going to give me the best chance of creating that good wrist set that we spoke about in that video. If you were the golfer who found that very difficult, there is a very good chance that your grip will be running too high through the lifeline of the hand. This makes it very difficult to create the wrist set. You often then find that that will start to come from the lead arm. So if you found, having watched video 2, that you were that golfer who found that very difficult, very simply placing a line in your golf glove such as this is going to be a great way for you to ensure that each time you apply your hands to the club, it's through the correct part of that lead hand. That's definitely going to help you create some better wrist set in the backswing. Now, this thing around my neck. Now, this is the Tour Striker Smart Ball. You don't have to use this. You can use something very simple, very similar. You can use maybe a sports ball that you can buy from anywhere, just something that's around about this size that you can put between your elbows. Now, as I take my setup to the golf ball, I'm just going to squeeze this between my upper arms and my elbows. And when I take my setup, the second thing we spoke about in that video was that once we had our wrist set, we had arm rotation. And you will notice that when I have that arm rotation, I can still keep that ball in place. As I start to rotate my shoulders now, again, that ball is still in place. The reason for that is that when I rotated my arms to the right, my right arm began to fold. What that means is when we get to this halfway back position, my right arm is in a great sort of position. It's folded correctly. Very common would be for me to see a golfer, when they make this move, the right arm bends more. Very different move. If I turn back to halfway now, you can see how the elbows have separated. The trail elbow looks as if it's pointing a little bit more out behind me. This is going to translate to some different positions at the top, and it's going to be very difficult to achieve that good top of the backswing position. So ensuring that in the backswing, the right arm is folding as opposed to bending is really key. This little device is going to help you feel that. So I can very simply get something between my elbows. I say it doesn't have to be a smart ball, it can be something very simple, it's very similar. Create my wrist set, which I should be able to do with my good grip, and I can now rotate my arms to the right, ensuring that my trail arm is folding. From here, we then spoke about having some arm travel up to the top. Now I get my elbows in a nice position, and I get that nice top of the backswing. So something as simple as this, a sports ball or something very similar between your elbows is going to help you get that trail arm folding, not bending, and that's definitely going to help with how you move your arms through the backswing. And finally, in video 3, we spoke about the golf club and the torques that you can apply to that golf club through the backswing. Now, the device I've got here is called the hanger. I have done a video using this device before, so I will link that down below. I really like this. I think I use this with a lot of clients. It really gives them some good feedback through their backswing. Now, this hanger really helps a golfer with the twists that they apply to the golf club. And, you know, certainly the golfers that I see who struggle, you know, with those twists, and certainly those golfers often hit the ball more out to the right, will often have the golf club a little bit too far open through incorrect twists. We said that we wanted to feel like we twisted the golf club more down towards the ground. This little device is a great way to feel that. So if I take my normal starting position to this golf ball with my 6-iron, you will notice that as I move the club back to here, the hanger, this plastic device here, is not in contact with my lead forearm. However, if I twist the golf club down towards the ground, suddenly I feel some contact now between that forearm. If I can maintain that contact all the way up to the top, that really ensures that my lead wrist is flat, if not slightly bowed, and that really, to me, gets that club face nicely under control. The majority of golfers that I see who struggle with the twists have the golf club too far open. They have the opposite twist. That moves this little device away from my forearm, and as I'm starting my downswing, again, being away from my forearm has that club excessively open. So at setup, you will notice how it is not in contact with my forearm. But through my backswing, I have to twist the golf club in the way that we discussed in the video to get that contact to happen. So a great little device to help a golfer really start to feel how they have to twist the golf club in order to get that wrist position correct and to get the club face under control. Twisting the golf club is something that golfers unfortunately don't do as well as they should. This, as I said, is a fantastic way for you to really feel exactly what you need to do in your wrists, and I can guarantee you that if you can get the club face under control, the game becomes a lot easier. And the last thing that you can do in practice, which is going to help you improve your backswing, and this is just a method of practicing, however I'm going to use this golf club to highlight this. This golf club is called the Gabe Golf Swing Trainer. Inside this golf club are a couple of sort of ball bearings, which are currently down at this end. But if I turn the golf club up, you'll hear them run down to the end of the club shaft and then make that noise. So again, the other way, and again, you can hear those running down there. The idea being, when I make my backswing, if I pause at the top, you'll hear those ball bearings run down towards the grip end. Now, the way I like to use this when I coach is that if I'm working on my backswing or you're working your backswing, whether that be body turn, whether that be arm position, whether that be twist in the golf club, whatever that may be, if we stand there and hit a golf shot, the idea of the ball being there, the idea of there being a target out there tends to consume us, and we tend to find that it's very difficult to change what we do in the backswing. With this device, if I was to hit a golf ball, I would have to make my backswing, wait, and then swing through. So as I set up and I hit a golf shot, which I'll do in a moment, I'm aware that once I make my backswing, I'm going to have to wait for those ball bearings to drop. Therefore, it enables me to focus exactly on what I'm trying to do in my backswing before I then change my focus and go through to hit the ball. So if I'm changing, let's say, my body pivot, so how I rotate my hips, or if I'm trying to change the angle of the golf club as I make my backswing, it's much easier to do that knowing that I've actually got a pause at the top before I have to swing down. So let's say I'm trying to change something in my backswing. Let's say for me it's trying to change the angle of the golf club going back. Very simply, I can focus on exactly what I'm trying to do before I pause and swing through. It just makes it so much easier for me to apply the right focus in the right area before I actually swing through. Now, obviously you don't need this exact device to do that. You can just take one of your own golf clubs and just make sure that you've got a nice 1 to 2 second pause at the top of your golf swing before you swing through. But it's such a good way to start to integrate some of the changes into your golf swing. So those are some of the little devices, some of the little practice methods and some of the little training aids that I would like to use in my coaching. You don't have to go out and buy those. You can often find relatively cheap substitutes. But if you're looking to change your backswing, maybe it's your body pivot, maybe it's your arms, maybe it's the club, whatever it may be, there are things out there which can help you. A little bit of knowledge is going to help, a little bit of an idea what you need to do, and then get the right devices, get the right feedback, create a practice station, and get to work on improving your backswing. Right, thank you very, very much for watching this video series, these 4 videos. I really, really hope they've helped you not only better understand what the backswing is made up of, different components, but maybe how to analyze your backswing, maybe what to look for, and more importantly, what to practice and how to improve your backswing. As we said right back at the start, nobody ever played great golf because they swung the club back any better. But lots of the things that you will do in your downswing, which maybe are faults, will be as a result of some things that you do in the backswing. So if we can tidy the backswing, we can get those elements under control, and we can start to move the body, the arms, and the club a little bit better. I really think you're going to be in a much better place to play some better golf in 2018. Thank you very much for watching. Again, all the useful stuff is down below. Subscribe to my channel if you're not a subscriber. There is a link down there. There's also a comments box, and there's also a like button if you did like the video series. Thank you again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back here again soon.